to Focus on HR, your internet video program on human resources. I'm your host, Kathleen Koch. Coming up later in the show, we'll find out what skills are now expected as part of an HR professional's toolkit. And we'll hear how HR can make better use of social media from two leaders in the field. But first, the news. Are you doing regular checkups on your retirement plan? Experts say it's important to review company 401k plans annually to root out potential problems. Some areas to focus on include eligibility, contributions both from employees and the business, eligible compensation for respective contributions, distributions, and vesting. While plan reviews can be conducted by internal staff or independent third parties, the best option may be to rotate between the two to ensure a fresh set of eyes is always reviewing this important employee benefit. Regular 401k plan reviews may become even more important once new rules go into effect later this year, requiring you to show workers how much retirement fund fees are costing them. For more on that subject, here's Focus on HR contributor Tony Pilsner.
The new disclosure requirements for fees that are being charged to participants, both direct fees and indirect fees, in defined contribution plans where participants direct their investments. It's primarily 401k plans that we're dealing with. Could cause employees to start asking more questions about what investment options are in their plans, why those are the ones that have been selected. Higher fees are going to generally create more questions, but you also have to provide benchmark information on all of your investment funds. And so low performance is going to be something else that's going to be probably raising questions as to why have you kept these funds when they've been underperforming the benchmark for 5 years. That's something else that employers are going to have to be ready to answer.
If you want to save money and boost productivity, try letting your workers stay home. A combination of telecommuting and hoteling, where employees work from home at least 4 days a week and share on-site workspaces when needed, is paying big dividends for the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office. PTO's 3,000 hoteling employees review about 4% more patent applications than their non-hoteling counterparts, according to a report from the Federal Inspector General's office. What's more, the report found that hoteling participants use less sick and administrative leave and charge less time to other activities not directly defined as examining patents. The icing on the cake? PTO says telecommuting and hoteling save the organization nearly $20 million per year in real estate costs. And now for a brief message from our sponsor. Welcome back. It's been a year since the oldest baby boomers turned 65, the traditional age for retirement. But many companies still aren't prepared for the potential mass migration of boomers out of the workforce. A recent poll from SHRM and AARP found that 72% of respondents say losing talented older workers could negatively affect their organizations in the next 5 years. But only 40% had done strategic workforce planning, a crucial step for spotting the skills gaps a boomer brain drain might cause. Some of the steps companies have taken to fill that gap include boosting training and cross-training, conducting succession planning, and offering retirees consulting, temporary, and part-time positions. Anyone interested in adding or renewing their HR certification will be very interested in my guest today. With me here in the studio is Linda Anguish, and she is Director of Credentialing Products and Services for the HR Certification Institute. Welcome, Linda.
Thank you, Kathleen.
Linda, there's some significant changes in store regarding HR certification. Could you please explain those to me?
Certainly. We've added some new responsibilities to the body of knowledge effective with the spring 2012 exams. Some of these responsibilities include the development and execution of business plans, conducting cost-benefit analyses on HR projects, coaching executives on talent management within the organization, and developing policies on the usage of electronic media within the workplace.
Now, we all know that there are 3 different certifications. There's PHR, SPHR, and GPHR. Which will be impacted by these changes?
Well, the PHR, or Professional in Human Resources, and the SPHR, which is the Senior Professional in Human Resources, both share a body of knowledge, and they will be the ones that are affected by these changes. The first 2 responsibilities we mentioned, which is the development of business plans and conducting cost-benefit analyses, will appear on the SPHR exam only. The other two, coaching executives on talent management and the development of electronic media policies, would affect both certifications. The GPHR has a separate body of knowledge and is not affected by these updates.
What do these changes say about the HR profession itself and the way it is changing?
It's obvious that the senior HR professionals' responsibilities are being aligned more closely with the business, and they are spending more time in business-related activities. Talent management remains a critical initiative within an organization, and the HR professional is being called on to assist management in dealing with those challenges.
How do these changes in the certification exam reflect what's actually going on in the HR trenches?
Well, approximately every 5 years we conduct what is known as a practice analysis. First, we conduct a literature review of what's been written and published about the profession during that time period. Next, we gather a task force of HR professionals to assist us in doing a first pass at an update, and then we validate their work by sending out an electronic survey to a much larger group of HR professionals, asking them to tell us if indeed these are the responsibilities that they perform often, or those are responsibilities that are critical to the success of their organization. By conducting this practice analysis, this helps us to assure that the content of our exams remains relevant and is testing content that's important to the HR profession.
Fascinating. Linda, thank you so much for coming by to fill us in on all these changes that are coming down the pike for most HR professionals. Appreciate it. For more information on the PHR or SPHR exams, visit us online at www.SHRM.org/focusonhr. And now for a brief message about the upcoming SHRM Annual Conference. There's been quite a stir in the news recently about HR professionals asking applicants for their Facebook passwords. Our interviews with two noted social media leaders suggest there might be better ways to use Facebook and other networking sites.
I think a lot of recruiters these days are trying to leverage Facebook in ways that it's actually not meant to be used. And that means a recruiter may be reaching out to people to try to become their friend so then they can communicate with them. The issue for a lot of people is that you've got private photos, private videos, status updates, things that you want to remain private, maybe pictures of your children. That's not the way to leverage Facebook.
What I would say people should do is take a look at the fact that we have streams of intelligence out there that we've never had before. We have a chance as a community, as HR leaders, to really leverage this opportunity and say, I've got more information around my workforce, around my customers, around my potential candidates that I've never had before.
I think that you want to be able to listen more than just kind of send out information. So a good example is Converse. Converse has 20 million fans on Facebook, on their fan page, plus another 20 million that are fans of their all-star sneaker. And what their CMO said recently is that what they do is they sit back and listen, they understand what's important to their fans, and then they engage them using that information.
If I told you as an HR leader, listen, I can tell you where to find what your customers think of you as a company, what your employees are saying about you, what candidates who interview. If I could tell you that information's out there, would that be valuable to you? Yes, it would. So why has there been this reluctance to really harness that? I think it's because it just seems like one big wave that's hitting us so strong that people are really finding a hard time to sort of compartmentalize and mine it and categorize it and say, hey, here's what we can really leverage from that.
On sites like BranchOut or LinkedIn, you can see who you're connected to, and they can help vet not only the skill set of the person, but also the cultural fit.
We've been betaing this product that helps every employee see folks that they're connected to who are qualified outside of the company for jobs available inside the company. And so this whole new connectivity graph started to develop just because of a very, very simple link of everyone in my network to every open position that we have. That's just the beginning of the way that we're going to be able to connect talent with opportunity at a massive, massive scale.
Cadogan says the next step for HR will be hiring analysts who can help the profession make sense of all the data available to it. In fact, LinkedIn recently hired its first HR data analyst. And that's it for this episode. I'm Kathleen Koch. Thanks for joining us.